offensive output. They are the best defensive team in the Euroleague, holding teams just 72.8 points per night, the only team in the competition to hold opponents to fewer than 75 points per game. Here we see the head-to-head record between coaches Parasovic and Etudis. Again, these two sides know one another very well indeed. They split regular season home victories last season, but Cska closed out the playoff series here by winning road games at the Moscu Arena before progressing to the Final Four. Mike James, Darren Hilliard, Vootman, Kabanov and Costa Koufos getting his first start in the EuroLeague, and he's made a terrific start to life as a EuroLeague player. He's 100% from the field so far, more of that in a moment. It's the backcourt of Perrier Henry, Nick Stauskas, Patricio Garino, Yusufa Fall and Tonika Shengelia, making it a sizable starting five for Kirobet, Baskonia, Vitoria Gasteiz. Tonika Shengelia coming off that career high in terms of points last week on really efficient shooting from the field. But as a team, Baskonia have got to improve their efficiency, committing 13.8 turnovers per game, and they've got the poorest assist-to-turnover ratio in the competition. And combined with that lowly free throw percentage of just 70%, as we see the injured players, including Jason Granger, the long-term absentee, and Siobhan Shields, who injured his shoulder. Just 45 seconds on court against Maccabi last week when he suffered that shoulder injury. And only watched from the sidelines. Well, these two sides meeting for the 40th time tonight, and it's an all-time rivalry that is dominated by Cska Moscow. 30-9, they lead the completed 39 encounters so far. But again, they did split regular season encounters last campaign, with each side prevailing on home court. For Cska Moscow, closed out games 3 and 4 here on the road before progressing through to the Final Four, beating Real Madrid and Anadolu Efes Istanbul to lift their 8th EuroLeague title. 4 victories here in a month. Playing that 2019 title. World Children's Day celebrations continue with that ceremonial opening tip-off. And now for the real thing. Ilya Belastovic tosses up the opening tip, which is stolen by Nikita Kabanov. It's Cska Moscow who have the first possession to get this round 9 encounter underway here at the Moscu Arena. Vuksman. Kabanov was posting up aggressively. Ball didn't come in his direction. Mike James defended by Perrier Henry. Skip pass out to Hilliard, who gets down the lane, out to James. Extra pass to Vootman. Front rim on the shot. Rebound wrapped up by Tonika Shengelia. So patience demonstrated by Cska on their first trip down the floor, but Baskonia's defense was equal to it. Shengelia with the baseline open to it. Koufos lurking on the help. Plugging up the lane is Yusufa Fall. Rebound Vootman off the missed hook shot by Shengelia. So Kabanov looking to exploit this mismatch. He's the far bigger athlete as he goes to back down Nick Stauskas. And in his first season from the EuroLeague. First season in the EuroLeague after spending the majority of his time before that in the NBA. Kabanov going right at him again, and that pass is out of bounds. Hannes Vootman could only watch as it sailed past on to his left-hand side, but no way he could reel that one in. So the first turnover of the game committed by Cska Moscow. Henry. Shengelia in the mid-post. Again, the baseline is open. Goes into the middle, goes to the jump hook. That's a terrific move. Bootman with his second defensive board. Doing a good job of ensuring it's a case of one and done. Mike James drawing the foul. Again, Yusufa foul. Foul way out beyond his shot blocking territory where he is so effective. Baskonia, the leading shot blocking team in the league with 4.9 blocks per night. And he's a big reason for that. The rookie center shoots 2.21 meters, and there's evidence of it. Terrific rejection by foul. Line drive shot got away, but it was off the mark. Yusufa foul immediately making his presence felt on the defensive end. Rumbling his way coast to coast is Tonika Shengelia to open the scoring. It took practically 2 minutes for the first points to be put on the board, and it's Shengelia who puts Baskonia ahead. Hilliard working the crossover, picked up by Shengelia. Quick thinking by Patricio Garino to pocket that steal, and now he's running in transition. Lots of contact, shot goes over the backboard, and it will be a blocking foul, which will send Patricio Garino to the free throw line. So the foul called against Darren Hilliard, that's his first. There's a terrific view of the swat produced by foul. So Garino, an 84% foul shooter for his career. He's 6 of 8 in his new career high. 24 points in the round 8 loss against Maccabi last week. Perfect 2 for 2 here. And Baskonia up by 4. Approaching 2.5 minutes gone. And the reigning champions have yet to put the ball in the hole. Mike James defended by Henry. Kufos posting up by the 3-point line before coming to set a screen. James driving on Henry. Tough pull-up Jay. That's off right. Terrific offensive rebound by Nikita Kabanov. The jump hook, the first field goal missed by Costa Kufos in this, his third Euroleague outing. Prior to that, he was 5 of 5 from 2-point territory, and all of his buckets were on jump hooks, the same move he tried just there, but on that occasion he was long. Bullet pass inside to foul, perfectly placed, and that is how to exploit the talents of Yusufa foul. Catching it high, turning and cramming it all in one motion. It's a 6-point lead for Baskonia. James. Kufos sets a screen, goes over the top of foul. Broken up on the inside. Did foul get a piece of that second one? Or was it Tonika Shengelia? So turnover committed by Toko Shengelia. Well, pick your poison on that occasion. Shengelia and foul were in the vicinity. Hilliard has his pocket picked. Shengelia with a strong start, bagging that steal. Slow things down by offloading to Henry. Henry setting the half-court offense. Picked up by Hilliard. Motion over on the weak side. Skip pass comes to Garino, who fires for 3. Back iron on the shot. It was short. Rebound Kufos. James sees a lane, drives, goes to a fadeaway because foul was coming, and again a terrific demonstration of the kind of disruption that foul can create in the lane. Aggressive drive, and then on the offensive boards, foul making his presence felt. The 4th best offensive rebounder in the competition, snagging 2.4 offensive boards per game, and that's how. Running the floor hard, crashing the boards, and here was a perfectly placed pass, resulting in a turn and jam for foul's first 2 points of the game. So timeout on the floor. Cska Moscow still looking for their first score. Baskonia lead by 6.
Soon the final 4 tickets are going to be launched. And this ad should tell you that you need to look at this. And picture yourself shouting there and crying like her, jumping up and down, feeling in every bone the emotion of a final 4. But you've already heard that, and you don't need someone wasting your time. So this ad is not going to tell you to buy tickets. It's going to tell you that you should run for them. Because just as you know that the tickets are out, so do thousands of fans around the world. Time is running. Are you going to save the date or run for it?
So you can go to f4tickets.com for further information about packages available for next season's or this season's next May's Final 4 in Cologne, Germany. f4tickets.com. You have all the information you need. These two teams will no doubt be keen to get to the Final 4. It's a long way away, but of course, every round, every step en route counts. Fouls having his difficulties from the free throw line, just 22% from the stripe, 5 of 23 from the line coming into this game. He's 0 for 2 on that occasion. He's going to get another opportunity because there was a violation by the visiting team. Too quickly into the lane as they went to box out. So foul will get 3 attempts. 2 foul shots, and he gets the shooter's roll on the second, which was actually his third, but first free throw of the game. 4th foul takes him to 3 points in the game. Voetman for 3, front rim on the shot, missed by some distance. Carino pushing hard, beautiful pass in transition. Goaltending is the call, and that's going to be another bucket on the score sheet for Toko Shengelia. 4 points in the game, and it is a 9-0 start for Baskonia. As Voetman committing the goaltend, so approaching the midpoint of this first quarter. It took close to 5 minutes for Cska to break the drought, and they go to Mike James. He buries his first 3-point attempt to reduce the arrears to 6. 3, drained from the wing by Stauskas. Nick Stauskas extends his streak. That is a 3-pointer in 6 straight games now, and then a terrific steal by Baskonia, sparking another transition opportunity. Footwork in the block by Shengelia. Kyle Hines whistled for a foul. Nice catch by Shengelia. So to the free throw line then. Shengelia, 84% from the stripe this season. Moves to 5 points in the game to lead all scorers. So it is all Baskonia so far. Kyle Hines with a strong move inside, and he gets the shot to go over foul. Tough move on the inside, and nice finish by Kyle Hines, his first points of the game. Off the foot of Henry, and it will be Cska Moscow ball. Baseline drive by Jonas Strelnitz, all the way beneath the bucket, inside to Hines, who goes up strong and rocks the rim on top of Toko Shengelia, who was late on the rotation and got jammed on for his troubles. Well, off offensive foul is the call against Tornica Shengelia, and he can't believe it. And making his way through the lane, he's called for his first foul. He bowled over the Cska defender who was trying to protect the paint. Here's the jam from Kyle Hines. It's a nice entry pass into the low post. Kyle Hines with the reception. Kicks it back out to Strelnex, then comes to set a screen for the ball handler. Sets one on the right-hand side. That frees up Strelnex, who buries the three-pointer, continuing the hot hand that he demonstrated last week. First points of the game for Giannis Strelnex. And there, the value of the three-ball demonstrated. All of a sudden, it's a two-score game. Shengelia offloads to Foul, who goes up strong, tries the jump hook, but was off the mark. Johannes Voetman with his third rebound of the night. He brings it over half. Oh, beautiful bounce pass from Mike James for the transition jam. And all of a sudden, it is a one-possession game. Baskonia's lead has been reduced to just 2, but what a feed between the two former Baskonia players. Voetman finding James, James rising up high for the transition jam. Timeout on the floor. Cska Moscow right back in this one.
Llega, te corre 3 metros de distancia y mete triple, vas por detrás, ok, come on. Hablemos un poco en la cancha todos de ayudar, ¿no? Cierto, hablemos, pero ¿de dónde? Pasa con él, él te rompe, corre con él, todos. Ordena siempre algo. Come on.
So Cska Moscow currently on a run of 9 points without reply to go from 14-3 down to a position of 14-12 on the scoreboard. Final 3 minutes of the first quarter. Baskonia looking to stem the momentum that the visiting team have established. Michael Eric out beyond the three-point line to set a screen. Vildosa gives it to Garino, who drives on Cabana, hangs in the air, goes by the window. Tough finish by Patricio Garino. 4 points in the game now on that, his first field goal. He puts his team up by 4 and stems that run of unanswered points. Terrific offensive rebound, but another block by Baskonia. Michael Eric getting a piece of that one, but only back into the hands of Cska. So shot clock down to 4. Mike James with a sidestep on the 3 and buries it. And he puts his team back to within 1. 16-15, the score in favor of Baskonia. Cska have yet to lead in this game. Mike James with 8 points in the game after burying his second 3. Vildosa, ball in the mid-post to Shengelia. He's defended by Voetman. Comes to the middle, rolls back baseline. Kicks it back out. Working the jab step is Stauskas. He's going to have to pull the trigger. He gets beneath the free throw line and goes to the high arcing finger roll. The old school playground move by Nick Stauskas takes him to 5 points in the game on perfect shooting from the field and puts his team up by 3. It's still a one-score game. Voetman with a bullet pass to Kabanov, who dunks all over Michael Eric, who rotated, but his help was in vain. Terrific feed from the high post to the cutting Nikita Kabanov. Count the bucket. And the 4-point play opportunity is now a distinct possibility because Nick Stauskas hit in the act of shooting, but his stroke was true. Kabanov getting too much of the body. By that time, the ball had gone, and the follow-through was sweet, allowing it to tickle the twine. Now Stauskas to the free throw line. 6 of 8 from the stripe so far. This is his first season in the Euroleague. And Nick Stauskas completes this 4-point play to move to 9 points in the game. His team have a 5-point lead. Vukman working on Shengelia. Of course, those two will have been familiar with one another from their practice sessions over the years. Foul committed on the ground by Shengelia. Now it's the closing stages of the first quarter, but that is going to be the second foul on Toko Shengelia. So he has to take a seat on the bench, having picked up foul number 2, Tonika Shengelia. 6 points in the game so far. Checking into the game is Achille Polonara. Cutting hard off the curl is Stronix. Hilliard working the dribble into heavy traffic. Goes by the glass, but he's far too strong. Rebound picked up by Stauskas. Lead pass finds Janning. Michael Eric has lost the ball and lost possession for his team. He attacked the baseline aggressively, but didn't take the basketball with him. Stora Lane, eyes lit up. Left the ball trailing in his wake. 4 turnovers apiece. That'll be far too high for the liking of the respective coaches on the sidelines. Vukman, jump hook from the middle, nothing but net for Johannes Vukman. Remember, he was held scoreless last week. He brings his team back to within 3. So we've got an 8-second difference between the quarter clock and the shot clock. Shot clock now down to 10. Hanging in the air is Luka Vildosa. Luka Vildosa with his first score of the game to put his team up by 5. So final 6 seconds. Oh, he stepped out of bounds. Mike James forced out, and that's a terrific defensive play by Luka Vildosa. An extra possession for Baskonia. Mike James saying, well, I know the dimensions of a court. I didn't step out of bounds of my own accord. So now Stauskas, who's hot in this quarter, drew iron on the shot but couldn't get it to go. So at the end of 10 minutes of play here, it is the home team, Kirolbet Baskonia Vitoria Gasteiz, who lead the reigning champions by 5. The first quarter in the book is Baskonia 24, Cska 19. Well, some of the highlights from that first quarter, it was all Kirolbet Baskonia Vitoria Gasteiz in the opening stages. Yusuf Afal getting a block shot, and Baskonia had put 9 points on the board before Cska had bothered the scorers. Mike James working the scoring, but by that time we had approached 5 minutes gone in the first quarter. 5 minutes 19 to go, to be precise. Karl Heinz committing that foul when going for the block. Karl Heinz ending the first quarter with 4 points, including this power jam on the top of Toko Shengelia. Cska Moscow got themselves back to within 1 on a couple of occasions. Hannes Vukman with a beautiful feed for that fast break jam for Mike James. Mike James leading his team in scoring with 8. Cska yet to have their noses in front. Nick Stauskas leading his team in scoring with 9. And what was perfect shooting from the field before that buzzer-beating 3-pointer attempt from his own half, practically. So there are the stats then. Baskonia doing a terrific job on the interior. Cska Moscow less so, just 38% from 2-point territory. Early stages in Barcelona. Fenerbahce down by a double-digit margin. Corey Higgins leading the home team in scoring. Geoffrey Laverne 6 for the visitors. It looks as though he's doing it all for Fenerbahce at the moment, but doesn't appear to be getting much help. If the numbers are anything to go by from our game centre. So Joe Bolomboy into the game for the first time. And it's Baskonia who will get the second quarter underway with an end-line possession. So Stauskas Gives it back to Vildosa. Stauskas driving baseline aggressively, jumping to pass, puts the ball all the way back out to Matt Janning. He's defended by Stronix. Michael Eric down the lane, catches, rejected by Bolomboy. What a fantastic defensive play. And an unsportsmanlike foul has been called against Luka Vildosa. He is judged to have unfairly taken away the break opportunity that Mike James was in the midst of. Not a legitimate play on the basketball. Vildosa can't believe it, but remember, it's deemed to be something other than a legitimate play on the ball. And the interpretation is that it will be an unsportsmanlike foul, which is 2 free throws and possession. We have an official review over at the video operator's table. But all of this sparked by the terrific defensive play by Joel Bolomboy. So we are seeing the exact same output as the officials. So what is the call? The unsportsmanlike foul call stands against Luka Vildosa. It's his first foul, and so it will be 2 free throws and possession. Mike James is a perfect 9 for 9 from the stripe in his 31-point outburst last week. And he's missed the first. 80% foul shooter on the season and for his career, but he couldn't get the range on the first one. So what was a potential 5-point trip down the floor. Now only 4 can be scored if Cska can find a 3-pointer here. It's Mike James in possession, defended by Vildosa. Strelnex has lost his defender, didn't really catch as a shooter. Karl-Heinz has got a huge mismatch in the post, but instead he passes to the cutting Hilliard. But Lomboy has to beat the shot clock buzzer, and, well, Cska a little bit out of sync on that trip down the floor, because Karl-Heinz had Matt Janning on his back. The ball went to him, but he didn't look to take advantage. But Matt Janning did not hesitate, just inside the free throw line, drilling that line drive jump shot for his first points of the game. Baskonia lead by 6. Bolomboy up strong, looking to dunk on top of Michael Eric, but he couldn't get the field goal to go. Stauskas from the corner, front rim on the shot. Karl-Heinz with the rebound. So a frenetic start to the second quarter. Karl-Heinz setting the screen and then catching it as the cutter. Strelnex with an age to line up and land his second 3-pointer of the night. 2 of 2 from 3-point territory in his 6-point total. He makes it a 1-possession game. Baskonia leading by 3. So the long-range Jays off the back iron. Bolomboy slapped it against the backboard. Darren Hilliard wrapped it up for his club. So James backing down. Luka Vildosa almost lost the handle. That's a tough step back Jay from the mid-post. The ball never left his hands, but he felt that he had the advantage. A mismatch he could exploit, but he couldn't get it to go. Matt Janning with back-to-back buckets. The line drive shot from around the free throw line and then burying the long-range 2 from the wing. 4 points in the game now. Matt Janning heating up to put his team up by 5. Mike James has dribbled into traffic and almost lost the basketball. Karl-Heinz to the rescue. Mike James slowly back to his feet. Strelnex with the kick. Hilliard for 3, and he connects from long range. Cska Moscow, 5 of 8 from 3-point territory. They get themselves back to within 2. So it's Vildosa handling. Almost taken away. But in losing his footing, it left Nick Stauskas open. And Karl-Heinz uncharacteristically electing not to hustle for that one, and he was beaten to the loose ball by Achille Polonara. That is such an uncharacteristic error from Karl-Heinz. You heard the lavish praise that was heaped upon him by coach Dimitris Atudis at the conclusion of their triumph here at the Boister Arena last May, the championship triumph. But here, We take another look at the block from Bolomboy, which sparked the fast break and the unsportsmanlike foul call. Oh my goodness, Matt Janning is as hot as an oven. 3 buckets in succession in this second quarter, and he has moved to 7 points in the game. That his first 3-pointer. As Hilliard tries to respond, it rattles around the rim. Karl-Heinz can't run down the loose ball. Well, surely you get the ball to Matt Janning and get out of the way, but Luca Vildosa, when he says he can do it too. And it is all Kirobet, Baskonia, Vitoria Gasteiz through this passage of the second quarter. They have got hot from the field, and they have opened up a 7-point advantage. Timeout on the floor. Baskonia 33, Cska 26.
Let's move them a little bit. So call, motion down, and move them. Let's go.
So tactical adjustments being made by Coach Atudis during the course of that timeout, wanting his team to pull Baskonia around the court more with ball movement. Will Cska be able to carry out his strategy in a game where they are currently trailing by 7? Strelnex finds it back out to Hackett. Didn't pull the trigger on the 3. Hackett fakes the 3, drives, elects to kick to the corner. Bolomboy's got it in his hands with the shot clock ticking down once again. Now twice he's been placed into that position. Beautiful bounce pass to Kile Polonara up strong. He's mugged beneath the bucket. And Baskonia come away empty-handed. And a foul in the open court committed by Luca Vildosa. That'll be his second. So Strelnex handling. Karl-Heinz, top of the key, kick to Hackett, who fires the 3, in and out. Rebound Henry, and he managed to keep Bolomboy away from it. Ron Baker into the game for the first time. Didn't play last week after he sustained that nose injury in a round 7 loss at the Astrobel against Asvel Villaban. Caught a stray elbow from Edwin Jackson. Almost taken away by Karl-Heinz. Joe Bolomboy came up with a loose ball. So turnover committed by Baskonia as Hackett left all alone and buries the 3-pointer. Daniel Hackett, 1 of 2 from 3-point territory now, brings his team back to within 4. And Cska's field goals in this second quarter have all come from 3-point territory. After Mike James went 1 of 2 from the line, straight into the hands of Ron Baker. And an unsportsmanlike foul called again for the second time this quarter. Perrier Henry breaking up the fast break attempt illegally after impeding the progress of Ron Baker, who was looking to go off to the races. So Ron Baker, perfect from the free throw line so far in his EuroLeague career. This is his first season. Duly drained the first to make it a 1-possession affair. So now a potential 5-point trip down the floor for Cska Moscow after the second unsportsmanlike foul called against Baskonia Vitoria Gasteiz. Perrier Henry called for the unsportsmanlike. That's his first foul. Ron Baker for three. Back iron on the shot. Andrei Vorontsevich fighting for the board. Perrier Henry couldn't keep it in bounds for his club. Hackett driving, gets to the goal, and Daniel Hackett moves to 5 points in the game on that, his first two-pointer, to tie things up at 33. Henry to the elbow, gives it to Shengelia, who picked up 2 first-quarter fouls. Low post action now with Shengelia. Vorontsevich buffets him from behind. Shengelia battles his way back to the middle. Footwork down beneath the block. Foul fighting for the offensive board. Vorontsevich comes up with it. And now Cska pushing hard in transition. Hackett catches in three-point territory but elects not to launch. He's got Shengelia guarding him at the top of the key. Bolon Boy comes to set a screen. Oh, what's the call here? It's Yusufa Foul who's being called for the foul. See him just wrapping up Joe Bolon Boy as he was coming to set a screen and then curled back down towards the bucket. A little bit of artistic license perhaps from Joe Bolon Boy. Yusufa Foul called for his second foul. Hackett loses his footing, manages to offload to Baker, fakes a three, attacks the basket, and fouled in the act of shooting with 2.6 seconds remaining on the shot clock. So Ron Baker made both of his free throws after being hit with a foul by Perrier Henry, and now gives Cska Moscow their first lead of the game. So Cska Moscow edge in front for the first time. They continue to shoot terrifically from the stripe. 4 of 5 from the line so far. Ron Baker moves to 4 points in the game, all of them coming from 15 feet away. It's a one-possession game here at the Buesa Arena. A 9-2 scoring run put on the board by the champions. So Henry working the dribble against Baker. Inside it goes to Shengelia. I think a fair few players could find themselves in foul trouble in what is proving to be a very physical encounter so far. Two of the better defensive teams in the competition. Baskonia number 4 in terms of team defense. Cska the best, conceding just 72.8 points per game. So Baskonia already in the penalties. Cska with plenty of fouls to give. 3 minutes 45 to go in the quarter. Henry jumped to pass. Shengelia for 3. Count it. That is a sweet stroke for Tanika Shengelia to take him to 9 points in the game on that, his first three-point attempt. And it puts his team up by 1. Ron Baker kicking the ball out of bounds. Cska again just a little bit out of sync. So Henry and Shengelia back to Henry immediately. Janin catches the three-point shooter but was short by some distance on that attempt. First miss of the game for Matt Janin. All of his points have come in a second quarter cluster. 7 points in the game for Janin. This is Bolon Boy down by the bucket. He remains with Strelnex. Oh, manages to sneak in the layup with his left hand. 8 points in the game for Yanis Strelnex to put Cska up by 1. So, timeout on the floor. Deep into the second quarter, and it is Cska Moscow who have a slender 1-point advantage over Baskonia. 36-37 the score.
Muy rápido a veces tiro, tenemos que darla una vuelta más. Defender ahora, estamos en bonus, pero defenderlo. En ataque. Vamos una. Con el Ili. No, vamos cansar con el pick and roll aquí. Si juega next, corte. Tú cortas si juega next.
Tornika Shengelia, joint leading scorer on his team with 9 points in the game. Closing in on 1,500 points for his Euroleague career is Shengelia. Finally, to leaving his feet to feed the pass. So Stronex driving into a double team. That's a tough ask for Joe Balomboy. Not quite sure whether it was intended for him, but it's a turnover committed by Cska, tying up the turnover count at 7 per team. 2.5 minutes to play in the first half. Jani finds Vildosa. Shengelia with a tough catch in the mid-post. Battles his way down low and gets the bucket to go. What a terrific play from Tornika Shengelia. And surely it was his tenacity that was the key component of that terrific score. How many times was he hit? Getting his way in between 3 Cska Moscow defenders and muscling in the basket seemingly by sheer force of will. That puts his team up by 1. As Tornika Shengelia completes the 3-point play. He moves to 12 points in the game. He's perfect from the free throw line so far tonight. Baker. For Kabanov. Oh, there's lots of contact down low. Which way is this foul going to be called? It's an offensive foul against Kabanov. Because he was looking to post up really aggressively, but he's saying it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. See, he's got the size advantage over Matt Janning. Matt Janning met him with the forearm. Kabanov reciprocated in kind, and it's Kabanov who was called for the foul. Janning skip past to Shengelia for 3, back iron on the shot. Iliman Diop with the rebound. So Joe Balomboy called for his second. So both teams in the penalty. Gets the shooter's roll on the first. 76% foul shooter for his career, Iliman Diop. Scoreless in 4 minutes on court against Maccabi last week. Didn't attempt a field goal or register any statistics. Diop with his first points of the game. His team go up by 4. Remember, their largest lead has been 9. They put 9 points on the board before Cska put the ball in the basket. So James gives it to Hackett. Hackett working the dribble, trying to lose Stauskas down beneath the free throw line, wheeling, spinning, back to the middle, then turned baseline, couldn't get the shot off the glass to go. Stauskas putting Hackett on his back, and again the players are going to have to adjust to how this game's being called here, or a lot of them could find themselves in significant foul trouble come crunch time. That's Hackett's second foul, and it will send Stauskas to the free throw line. Stauskas. Remains perfect from the line as he goes to 10 points in the game. His team lead by 5. So a run of 7 points without reply. Sees Baskonia go up by 6. Just over a minute to play in the quarter. Hackett defended by Stauskas. Ballon boy comes to set a screen. Foul committed on the ground by Nick Stauskas after he lost his footing. So Miguel Gonzalez checking into the game. Sole action so far this campaign came in round 6. Scored 2 points against Bayern Munich. Snaps the run of 7 points without reply. That Baskonia used to go up by 6. Perfect trip to the free throw line by Daniel Hackett. Hackett moving to 7 points in the game now. A minute to play in the first half. Janning goes to a step back pull-up. Side iron on the shot. What an offensive rebound. Tied up by Kyle Hines. Taking a wall, but then Cska give it straight back. So another turnover committed by Cska Moscow. That one will be assessed against Ron Baker. And we bounced the ball off his foot earlier. Strong defensive play by Kyle Hines. Michael Eric not particularly impressed. Then the giveaway committed just before the half court. 9 turnovers committed by Cska now. Andrei Borancevic called for the foul. Send Iliman Diop to the free throw line. Iliman Diop, 3 out of 3 from the stripe so far. It's his team up by 5. Both teams doing an outstanding job from the free throw line. Less than a minute to play here in the first half. 6 points the advantage for the home team. James. Long on the jump shot attempt, fighting for the offensive board is Kyle Hines. Iliman Diop comes down with it. So we've got about an 11-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock in the closing stages of the second quarter. Diop offloading to Janning. Michael Eric beyond his shooting range, not looking at the basket, but now sees a lane and goes up strong, fouled en route, and he'll go to the free throw line. Baskonia making a healthy living from the charity stripe. 13 out of 14 they have made from the free throw line, and we are not yet out of the first half. It's been a very physical game so far. Michael Eric to the free throw line for the first time tonight. 5 of 12 from the stripe so far this season. Michael Eric, he was 0 of 3. And he put 2 points on the board against Maccabi in round 8 in 13 minutes of play. So Ron Baker taking a seat on the bench for Cska Moscow. And Stronek's checking back in for the visiting team. To the free throw line, Michael Eric, 63% foul shooter for his career, to extend his team's advantage. So 0 for 2 from the free throw line for Michael Eric. Closing seconds of the first half. The ball in the hands of Mike James, the round 8 MVP. He pulls up for 3 and buries it. My goodness, Mike James goes to 12 points in the game. He's 3 of 3 from three-point territory. And that, the final bucket of the first half. A first half which was very physical indeed, and at the conclusion of 20 minutes of play, it is a one-possession affair here at the Buesa Arena. Kirillbet Baskonia Vitoria Gasteiz 45, Cska Moscow 42. So the fives out on the floor to begin this second half here at the Buesa Arena. Light show will soon come to an end. We'll get the second half underway. Kirillbet Baskonia Vitoria Gasteiz looking to end their 2-game losing skid. And they've responded well after the mauling they took at the hands of Maccabi last week, losing by 30. Maccabi put 113 points on the board on the road. Hackett thought that he had a clean steal, but he's committed a foul. That's Hackett's third, and we have only just begun the third quarter. So perhaps a decision to make for Coach Atudis. Does he trust him and leave him out there? Or is a substitution going to have to be made to have Hackett available for crunch time? Big screen's been set by Fall on the perimeter, and on that occasion, after he set a big one on the first time, on the first occasion, on the second instance, he was called for the foul. That's his third. So Stronek. Hackett with the extra pass to James, who fakes the three, gives it to Hackett, who fires. Daniel Hackett with his second three-pointer of the night moves to 10 points in the game and ties things up at 45 points apiece. Perfect start to the third quarter offensively for Cska. Shengelia working the dribble. Gives it to Stauskas, then drives, goes for the jam, couldn't get it to go. Now if that's Hackett, that's 4 fouls. Who is this foul going to be called against? And it is Hackett going for the reach, and that was the gamble. He picked up his third foul practically while the whistle was still reverberating around the Buesa Arena. He stayed out there, he went for another steal, and he's been caught with his hand in the cookie jar once again. 4 fouls for Daniel Hackett, who's been playing terrifically. 2 of 3 from downtown in his 10-point total. But really, he's going to have to cool his heels on the bench, having picked up 2 fouls in less than a minute in this second quarter, to be on 4 fouls for the game. So Toko Shengelia good on the second to put his team up by 1. Shengelia with 13 points in the game to lead all scorers. Strelnex turns back to the middle, and the fadeaway J from the lane is good. He remains perfect from the field, does Giannis Strelnex, to continue the hot hand that he had all game long last week. Turnover committed. See if we can get a look as to why. But that's a foul on Yusuf Afal. So he's picked up 2 second half fouls. So he now has 4, and he has to take a seat on the bench. So the same fate has befallen Daniel Hackett, Yusuf Afal, The players have got to make an adjustment to how this game is being called here. Because the whistle is being blown frequently by the floor officials. They have to call what they see. Patricio Garino called for the foul. That's his first. So Mike James inbounds to Strelnex. Strelnex pursued by Garino. Top of the key from the high post. Karl-Heinz off right. Rebound Iliman Diop. Pulling up in transition with two Cska defenders around him and burying the three-pointer. Luka Vildosa moves to 7 points in the game. Tough shot. His team lead by 2. 49-47 the score. Strelnex. Karl-Heinz rolling to the bucket. Strelnex keeps it himself. He tried to offload to Heinz. Was poked out of bounds by Baskonia. So it will be Cska ball from the sideline. 4.4 seconds remain on this shot clock opportunity for the visitors. Mike James with the inbound. Needs a receiver. Strelnex with the catch. Buffets Garino off him. He's going to have to pull the trigger. He does so. Off left. Kabanov couldn't come down with the offensive board. Nick Stauskas with the feed. It's a tougher pass attempt. Bodies skittling out of bounds. Baskonia back in numbers, but now there's a one-man advantage for Cska. Strelnex for 3, long on the shot. Rebound Stauskas. 5th rebound of the game for Nick Stauskas. Shengelia gives it back to Vildosa. Vildosa drives, left-handed layup all the way is good. And he showed that as he danced his way down the lane, Luka Vildosa, to move to 9 points in the game. Mike James up strong to draw the foul against Patricio Garino. Garino called for his second foul. Mike James to the free throw line. 1 of 2 from the strike tonight. His 12-point total. Off the mark with the first. Rattles home the second as Mike James to move to 13 points in the game. Cska have missed 2 foul shots as a team, and Mike James has missed 2 of his 4 free throw attempts. It's a 1-possession game. Cska down by 3. Shengelia all the way beneath the bucket. That's too easy. Johannes Voetman, who knows Shengelia's tendencies so well, I suppose he was trying to avoid contact, so Shengelia had nothing to spin off. But if you let him get that low beneath the bucket, invariably he's going to score. Tough finish from Mike James as he moves to 15 points in the game and brings his team back to within 3. 1-score game here. Almost taken away, but Mike James couldn't find the basketball. Lots of contact down low. Stauskas kicks it out to the corner. Garino has missed everything. Karl-Heinz with a rebound, and he's bringing it over the halfway line. Again, it's an incredibly physical game, this one. If that foul is against Garino, no, it's Iliman Diop who's been called for the foul. That's his first. Garino was converging, trying to apply a double team. So Baskonia in the penalty already. Just been playing for just over 3.5 minutes in this second quarter, and Baskonia already in the penalty. So Karl-Heinz, with his first free throws of the night, moves to 6 points in the game and brings his team back to within 1. Vildosa kicked out of bounds by Mike James. 15 seconds will remain on the shot clock. So Matt Janning checking in. Patricio Garino taking a seat on the bench. Diop with a tough catch, got the shot away. Now, who is this foul against? Karl-Heinz, it will be his third. And it is indeed against Heinz, rotated. Too much contact. Iliman Diop will go to the free throw line. Karl-Heinz now on 3 fouls. All of Iliman Diop's points have come from the free throw line tonight. His first miss in 5 attempts. Usual service resumed. Put his team up by 2. So James picked up by Vildosa. Vootman, oh, that's a difficult feed after Kabanov was bumped from behind. Turnover as a result. First one committed by Vootman, but the 10th committed by Cska, identical to the number committed by Baskonia. High arcing shot is a difficult one to attempt. 1-on-3 practically there for Luka Vildosa. Mike James with the board. Jumping to pass, finds Vootman. He's not adopting the triple threat position. Now Karl-Heinz setting the screen. Strelnieks driving on Janning. Janning blocking the shot to ensure that no and one opportunity was available for Strelnieks. He'll go to the free throw line. He'll look to tie things up. So Strelnieks, among the most accurate free throw shooters of all time from the free throw line. 91% foul shooter for his career. Missed just once this season, 16 of 17 from the free throw line coming into this game. So 12 points in the game for Janis Strelnieks. He ties things up at 54 points apiece. So Stauskas double teamed down by the baseline, still managed to escape. Ball taken off the rim, no basket interference. Stauskas can't believe it. Mike James comes away with it and elects to slow things down. Vildosa playing him straight up. Vootman. Oh, bullet pass down to Vorontsevich, rejected from behind by Iliman Diop. A fantastic recovery. Baskonia on the break. Stauskas off the glass, off the mark. That's a terrific defensive play by Iliman Diop. As James in transition, nowhere to go, somehow fashioned a shot. Wrapped up on the defensive glass by Luka Vildosa. So Shengelia attacking the basket, poked away. Picked up by Nikita Kabanov in the open court. Baskonia back effectively in their transition defense. Vootman elects to pull it back to Strelnieks, who sets things up from the half court. Vootman catches at the high post, attacks the bucket, goes by the window, too strong, tipped out by Nikita Kabanov. Lead 14 for Cska. Mike James has it. Strelnieks working the dribble. Stauskas picking him up. Shot clock down to 5. Strelnieks keeps it, pulls up after creating space with the dribble, lays a brick from the perimeter. Iliman Diop with the board. So Andrei Vorontsevich called for the foul. That'll be his second. Look at this for help defense from Iliman Diop. Racing in from the weak side. And getting a piece of that ball as it was bound for the basket. Timeout on the floor. And it is all square, 54 points apiece. Cska Moscow leading the third quarter, 12-9. Well, Mike James, 3 of 3 from downtown in his team-high 15-point total. Makes him the game's joint leading scorer along with Tornika Shengelia for Baskonia. And that was a beautiful feed from Johannes Vootman, as the two former Baskonia players connected terrifically there. Mike James, who buried the final bucket of the first half to make it a one-possession game and bring his team back to within 3. Another efficient night from three-point territory so far but only 2 of 8 from two-point territory. So 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. Matt Janning defended by Kabanov, who's forcing him left. Luka Vildosa with the catch. Darren Hilliard pursuing. We saw that layup finished with the left hand. Couldn't get it to go with the right hand on this occasion. Vildosa 3 of 5 from two-point territory. And we are still deadlocked. 54 points apiece. Mike James. Flat pass all the way to Vorontsevich. Darren Hilliard from the top of the key, nothing but net. Darren Hilliard with his second three-pointer of the game moves to 6 points. And Cska take a 3-point lead, breaking that 54-point deadlock, which had been in effect for some time. Offensive foul is the call. So that'll hand possession back to Cska Moscow. Iliman Diop called for the offensive foul. So Hilliard driving, gets the shot away, only into the hands of Toko Shengelia, but what a pick from Ron Baker. Bounce pass finds Darren Hilliard, who steps back into three-point territory. Rim shot, rebounded Joe Bolomboy. He has it poked away by Perrier Henry. Toko Shengelia comes up with it for Baskonia. Matt Janning with a transition three. Short on the shot, Darren Hilliard with the board. A frenetic sequence. So Baker electing to slow things down. It's an ambitious pass, trying to pick out Joel Bolomboy in that type of Baskonia traffic. Vildosa's lost his footing, but Shengelia was there to bail him out. He's going to have to pull the trigger. He does so on the pull-up three. Wow, what an insurance policy. Toko Shengelia with his second three-pointer of the night. And that was a tough shot. The shot clock ticking down. He rescues a play that appeared to be abortive to move to 18 points in the game. He ties things up at 57 points apiece. Now, how long will this deadlock last for, one wonders? Because they were tied at 54 for 2 minutes and 7 seconds. That's an easy pass for the pick for Baskonia. Ball still loose, Vorontsevich comes up with it. He offloads to Kabanov, back to Vorontsevich, who gives it straight back to Baskonia. Well, this is kamikaze Keystone Cop basketball, but that is one way to break it. Luka Vildosa with his second three-pointer of the night puts his team up by 3. He goes to 12 points in the game. And Coach Dimitris Atoudis, not a happy man, because his team were making some really questionable decisions during that stretch. And Baskonia are the team that have benefited. Tonika Shengelia rescued a broken play with a three-pointer deep in the shot clock. And then Luka Vildosa doing the same thing. That is what Coach Atoudis thinks of the decision-making that his team put forth during that passage of play. A rather calamitous stretch for the champions.
After that, he forced that. So I said, it's time to give you the ball. And turnover. Great offense. Get Nikita.
Well, this is the three-pointer with Toko Shengelia received a bobbled basketball between his ankles, but had the composure to bury his second three-pointer of the night with the shot clock ticking down. And then Luka Vildosa drilled a three from the wing to put his team up by 3. It's all square in the third quarter, 15 all so far, just over a minute to go in the third. Janning defending Strelnex closely. Ball deflected out of bounds by the active hands of Luka Vildosa. So Hilliard inbounds to Baker. Now with Strelnex. Janning playing him square on. Hilliard catches a three-point shooter, gets Henry in the air, pulls up for the J around the free throw line, tipped out by Joel Bolomboy, but only into the hands of Matt Janning. So Shengelia, little two-man exchange between he and Vildosa. Kyle Hines helping out, Diop cutting down towards the lane. Kyle Hines now helping in and around the halo. Shengelia looking to back down Joel Bolomboy. Line drive pass inside to Michael Eric. Now he got that jump hook away before the shot clock buzzer sounded. Terrific feed out of the post from Torniko Shengelia. And it's a 5-point lead for Cska Moscow. Excuse me, for Baskonia. The shot clock has been turned off. Cska Moscow holding for the last shot of the period. Running into heavy traffic with Giannis Strelnex. Baskonia in the penalty, and that foul will send Strelnex to the free throw line. He's 2 of 2 from the stripe so far. Michael Eric and Matt Janning converging on him. Michael Eric committing the foul. That's his first. Giannis Strelnex to the free throw line for 2 shots. So that snaps the 8-0 run that Baskonia had put on the board to go up by 5. So Giannis Strelnex. Quarterback pass finds Matt Janning. Matt Janning can't find the range on his desperation buzzer-beating three-point attempt. Well, it's 17 points apiece in quarter number 3, which means that the home team maintain at the end of 3 quarters the 3-point advantage they began the second half with. With 10 minutes to play, it's Kiribet Baskonia Vitoria Gasteiz 62, Cska Moscow 59. Well, an incredibly competitive quarter once again. Points very difficult to come by. 17 points apiece on the board for these 2 clubs. Luka Vildosa coming up with some big plays. Nico Shengelia allowed to get far too deep on the block. And finishing beneath the bucket. Mike James taking another look at the shot where he hung in the air off one leg. Andrei Vorontsevich with the extra pass to Darren Hilliard, who hit his second 3-pointer of the night. And Nico Shengelia rescuing a play that appeared to be about to result in a turnover. And then inside to Michael Eric to beat the shot clock buzzer in the closing stages of the quarter. So the statistics then, through 3 quarters of play, 29% from 2-point territory is far lower than Cska Moscow are accustomed to. Baskonia making life very difficult indeed on the inside. It is all Barcelona on home court in the 4th quarter against Fenerbahce Beko Istanbul. Difficulties appear set to continue in terms of results. And then on Friday, they're going to have to travel to the fortress that is the Astrobal. So it doesn't get any easier for Fenerbahce Beko Istanbul. They look to get on track after a difficult start to this season. So the fourth quarter underway. It's a three-point game. Baskonia leading by 3, 62-59 the score. 17 points apiece on the board in quarter number 3. Mike James with a pass all the way to the corner. Strelnex inside to Karl-Heinz. Tough pass for him to handle. Strelnex working the dribble. Working against Michael Eric. Shakes him off with a crossover. Inside to Heinz. Heinz with the extra pass. And again, you have to credit Baskonia's terrific defense. But somebody has got to let Cska Moscow know the shot score situation. All basketball players at this level will have the shot clock built into their head and know what 24 seconds feels like almost intrinsically. But it's another shot clock violation committed by Cska Moscow, too unselfish for their own good. Baskonia make a terrific start to the quarter on the defensive end. They follow it up with a shot that was almost an air ball. So it's Strelnex handling once again. Hilliard double teamed up the top. Mike James for 3 from the wing. Back iron on the shot. Joel Bolomboy, backcourt violation. And that is because Darren Hilliard took off in his own half. If both feet were in the half that he was attacking, it wouldn't have been a backcourt violation, but because he was retreating, trying to protect the basket and take away the transition, when he saw that the ball was coming his way, jumped from his own half back into the front court, into the half that he's attacking. Backcourt violation is the result, which is a turnover and Baskonia ball. So Shengelia out on the wing. He's got the baseline open. That's the direction he's spun. He tries to find Michael Eric, but it's too hot. And 24-second shot clock violations by both teams to begin this fourth quarter. And that perhaps just epitomizing how hard it is for teams to put points on the board. Now, we suggested at 45 points in a half, 42 for Cska Moscow, that they would be on pace to surpass the 80-point total, where they're currently 5-0 for the season. Mike James offloads to Strelnex. Strelnex for 3. The first score of the fourth quarter ties things up at 62. But if this defensive tussle continues as Michael Eric makes a strong catch, power dribble taken away, Darren Hilliard comes up with the ball. Michael Eric not a happy individual. Mike James down to the baseline, hangs in the air and hits the short corner J to make it a 5-0 run to begin quarter number 4 for the reigning champions. So timeout on the floor, called by coach Velimir Parasovic to stem this momentum. Cska with a 2-point lead.
It's adjusted to 1 minute pass behind the good moment. Hey, play in offense. Una 4. 4.
Well, the communication continuing between the players on the respective teams. They try to find a strategy that will get them over the winning line. Wouldn't be surprised if this one went to an extra period if it continues in this vein. Very little in it. It's a one-possession affair. Cska Moscow put all the points on the board so far here in the fourth quarter. Henry. Michael Eric setting a screen. Henry pulling up for 3. That missed practically everything. Yanis Strelnex with a long defensive rebound. So now it's in the hands of Mike James. He's picked up by Henry. What a turnover. That's the second time in the game Mike James has done that. He's playing on the margins with the sidelines, looking as though he's trying to draw a foul against the defender who is close to him. But on both occasions, he's been called for stepping out of bounds rather than the defending player being called for a blocking foul. Another turnover committed by Cska. That's 17 for them, one more than Baskonia. Vildosa on the pull-up three almost breaks the backboard. So Mike James, Henry defending once again. Bolomboy wide open, nice catch on the inside, up strong, tried to dunk it. Michael Eric may well have got a piece of that ball. Second block of the night for Michael Eric, and then finishes with a jam at the other end. Michael Eric heavily involved in what is a good passage of play for the home team. Ties things up at 64 points apiece. And there you see a prime example as to why Baskonia are the league's leading shot-blocking squad. Inside to Bolomboy, delicate finish beneath the bucket to put his team up by 2 and break that momentary deadlock. First points of the game for Joel Bolomboy as Perrier Henry gets his first field goal of the game to go. 2 points on the night for him. And we are all square at 66. Strelnieks picked up by Henry. Bolomboy rolling to the bucket. Hackett back into the game after being hit with 2 quick third-quarter fouls. That sent him to 4 fouls total. Mike James working the dribble against Vildosa. Oh, that's another very difficult shot attempt. But given the man is such a prolific scorer, you have to continue to back him, but he's feeling his calls aren't going his way tonight. He's been buffeted out of bounds twice, and he's been called for a turnover rather than a foul. And then Luka Vildosa with a terrific defensive effort. As we take another look at the block from Michael Eric. And then Michael Eric ran the floor and finished with the jam. Here's the block from Michael Eric. So Henry, oh, beautiful offload to Michael Eric, pump fake. Drawing the foul against Joel Bolomboy. Oh, this is what the home fans think of it. Remember, Baskonia have been hit with 2 unsportsmanlike foul calls. Both of them coming in the second quarter. We've got a review of the foul type over at the video operators table. Remember, it has to be a legitimate attempt at the basketball. So it's a regular shooting foul, not an unsportsmanlike foul. Joel Bolomboy called for his 3rd foul. Will send Michael Eric to the free throw line. 0 of 2 from the stripe so far. Remember, Michael Eric just a 63% foul shooter for his career. So, unable to get either of them to go. Toko Shengelia called for the foul. Bolomboy skied for the defensive rebound. Shengelia called for his 3rd. So we are all square, 66 points apiece. Hackett passes to Vukman. Strelnex finds Vukman. Vukman fakes the three, now working against Shengelia. Bowls him over with the shoulder. It's an offensive foul call. Wow. What a game we're witnessing in terms of physicality at both ends of the floor here. Shengelia standing strong in his defensive position, and that shoulder to the chest is sending him to the hardwood. Looking to establish that physical presence down in the low post, called for his first foul. Henry. Strelnex trying to dance around Diop so he's not subjected to the mismatch down on the block. He'll be called for the foul. That'll be his first. So Shengelia working on Bolomboy down on the block. Rumbles to the middle, kicks out to Iliman Diop, who looks at the three, sees the lane, attacks the basket, but he had it poked away, and then it came off his leg to go out of bounds. Diop feeling that it should be Baskonia possession. Here's the reach from Darren Hilliard, and I don't think there's any doubt it was the right knee of Diop which sent it out of bounds. He feels otherwise. So Hackett has picked up his dribble, finds Strelnex. Strelnex being defended by Henry. Karl-Heinz cutting down a lane, goes up strong, beautiful screen and roll. And Strelnex with the composure to deal with the double team and find the open man who was cutting towards the bucket. Cska Moscow lead by 2. Henry with nowhere to go. He comes down with the ball somehow off his own missed shot. Terrific offensive rebound by Perrier Henry. Joel Bolomboy called for the foul. That is his 4th. So he and Daniel Hackett on the floor for Cska Moscow with 4 fouls apiece. Foul is on the bench with 4 fouls for Baskonia. Garino. Diop setting a screen, rolling to the bucket. Bolomboy over to help. Blocking foul is the call, and I think that's going to be it for Joel Bolomboy's contribution this evening. Wow, what a sequence of events. Joel Bolomboy hit with 3 quick fouls here in the 4th quarter. He knew that he was playing with 4, so he couldn't attack the block shot as he usually does. But Joel Bolomboy fouling out with 2 points and 5 boards in the game tonight, as well as a block shot. And that is the risk when playing with 4 fouls. Diop would have no doubt been aware of the perilous position Joel Bolomboy was in. That's why he went up so strong. Diop makes the first. Can't find a range on the second. His team trail by 1. So 4.5 minutes to play in the final quarter. It's been a low-scoring quarter so far. So that takes Cska to double figures. 11 points on the board now in this quarter. Their lead is 3. Henry just above the foul line. Toko Shengelia working a dribble. In a 3-man weave between he, Vildosa and Henry. Shengelia has it once again. Vukman defending, trying to force him right. Jab step in evidence from Shengelia. Blocked by Vukman, who's off to the races. Taken away by Patricio Garino. Now does the shot clock continue to tick? No, it's been reset to 24. Because Cska Moscow must have been deemed to have had control of the possession. So Shengelia picking up the errant pass from Perrier Henry. He picks up the 3-pointer. It goes out of bounds. Well, what a strange sequence. So 3.5 minutes to play. We are in crunch time. This is the block shot from Johannes Vukman. Then a shot clock didn't continue to tick, and it was a new 24 for Baskonia as Vukman fires for three, off left on the shot. Patricio Garino with the board. Vildosa pulls up for three, back iron on the shot. So it remains a one-possession game. Cska Moscow leading Baskonia by three. Vildosa defending Hackett. Big screen set by Kyle Hines. Stronex with the extra pass to Vukman. Back to Hackett. Hilliard spotting up on this strong side. He's got the basketball and pulls the trigger. Perrier Henry with the rebound. Henry working the dribble. Cutting hard is Garino, who catches a shooter. Rejected by Hilliard, who came flying up off the help D. But then Garino got the loose ball. That's a terrific defensive play by Darren Hilliard. Look at the ground he covered, taking it away. Garino remained with it, and then on the drive, draws the foul against Kyle Hines. So Cska Moscow in the penalty by stark contrast. Look at how many fouls Baskonia have to give. We are deep in crunch time, and as Cska look to protect what is currently a three-point lead, but that could soon be cut to one. Patricio Garino remains perfect from the stripe so far. But with so many fouls to give, Garino is to 6 points in the game on perfect shooting from the foul line. Siobhan Shields and Jason Granger looking on. But now Baskonia can afford to play really aggressive defense, and they won't send Cska Moscow to the free throw line for some time. Garino now helped out by Diop. Vukman into the low post. Kyle Hines chose not to attack. Stronex does, off balance Jay, missed everything but the backboard. So Baskonia looking to take a lead with a field goal of any description here. Garino driving. Oh, a blocking foul against Kyle Hines, and he's going to have fouled out. So that is two of Cska Moscow's front line, Joel Bolomboy and Kyle Hines, who are out of the game with 5 fouls. So the front line of Cska Moscow severely depleted now, which means that they will be undersized compared to the weaponry available to the home team. So the 7 days magic moment comes between a crisp connection between two former Baskonia players. Johannes Vukman playing point forward, feeding Mike James on the break with a beautiful bounce pass bisecting two defenders, allowing Mike James to find a fast break finish with the one-handed jam. Mike James and Johannes Vukman connecting for the 7 days magic moment. There's confirmation that both Joel Bolomboy and Kyle Hines are out of the game, having picked up their 5th and disqualifying fouls here in the 4th quarter. Bolomboy's fouls 3, 4, and 5 came in quick succession. Kyle Hines fouling out with 8 points, 2 steals and a block, as well as 4 rebounds in 21 minutes on court. Fans up on their feet here at the Buesa Arena as they try to encourage Baskonia to a home victory. So to the free throw line, 2 minutes and change remaining. Garino, who's perfect from the line tonight, 4 for 4. Ties things up at 70 points apiece. So Baskonia lead by 1. 2 minutes to go here in the ball game. Baskonia 28 trips to the free throw line, nearly twice as many as Cska Moscow. And again, look how early But look at the disparity in fouls in terms of how many Baskonia have to give. So they can continue to be really aggressive on the defensive side of the ball. Will only result in possession rather than trips to the free throw line for the visiting team. Mike James with Bootman cutting off the ball. Hackett sees a seam, attacks, he's lost it into the hands of Toko Shengelia. Another low-scoring quarter favoring Baskonia. Now, is that going to count? Yes, it does, and you just get the feeling that this could well be Baskonia's night, because Perrier-Henry has come up with a terrific finish despite being fouled, and he'll now go to the free throw line looking to complete a three-point play. The pump fake getting Daniel Hackett off his feet, and he too has fouled out of the game. So Cska Moscow having to go deep into their bench here. And we mentioned the fact that when they put 42 points on the board at the half, as Perrier-Henry completes the three-point play to put his team up by 4. At 42 points in the first half, it looked as though that Cska would be on track for the 80 points where they have come out on top, a perfect 5-0 so far this campaign. But truth be told, both sides have shackled one another to low-scoring quarters in the second half. Cska Moscow, well, their 2 defeats so far has been when their offense has sputtered. They don't put 80 points on the board. A campaign where they're averaging 84.5. This may well be characterized in similar fashion. Hilliard fires a 3, rejected by Iliman Diop. 1.9 seconds remain on the 24-second shot clock. And Cska are going to have to catch and fire pretty quickly. What a play from Iliman Diop. Soaring and extending to his full reach for his second block of the night. Vorontsevich from the short corner, front rim on the shot. And now a three-pointer would make this an 11-2 run in favor of Baskonia. Henry kicks to Diop, fakes the short corner J, drives into the middle, holding off Bootman. Shengelia sees a lane, attacks it, and gets the shooter's roll. And Baskonia go up by 6. Toko Shengelia just instructing his teammates to keep cool because there are still 47 seconds left. But all of the bench and all of the fans here at the Boisa Arena believe that this incredible finish from Toko Shengelia is the winning moment for Kirobet Baskonia Vitoria Gasteiz. Their lead is 6 against the reigning champions. Cska Moscow have got 3 players on the bench who have fouled out. And look at the response it brings from the fans and the players on the Baskonia bench. Shengelia just reminding his teammates that they've got to keep their concentration and see the job through. Timeout on the floor. It's a 2-possession game. Kirobet Baskonia Vitoria Gasteiz leading by 6. The Poznan being produced by the fans here at the Boisa Arena in Vitoria Gasteiz. And their belief is surging. They've got the reigning champions on the ropes in the closing stages of a low-scoring fourth quarter so far. Cska Moscow just 11 points on the board. Baskonia have only put 14 points on the board, but they came into this quarter with a 3-point advantage. Cska Moscow's last score came with 4 minutes 22 to go. They've been held scoreless, and it's an offensive foul, just continuing their woes. Terrific defensive play by Tornika Shengelia as he continues to come up with huge moments for his ball club. We know about his offensive prowess and how he can rebound and pick the pocket and stuff the stat sheet, but that is the type of play which doesn't show up in the box score. Putting his body on the line, drawing the foul, and taking away the offensive opportunity for Cska Moscow. Terrific play by Tornika Shengelia. Now, as he got position outside the halo, that's what's being scrutinized. Whereabouts is Toko Shengelia when he positions himself to draw that offensive foul? So, timeout on the floor. Tornika Shengelia getting terrific position. Johannes Voetman going for the drive. Cska Moscow have been held scoreless for more than 4 minutes here in the final quarter. They have been subjected to a run of 10-2. How Baskonia have got themselves up 6. Of course, Cska Moscow, the number 3 three-point shooting team in the league.
So, assuming they get the ball over here, it doesn't matter who. Somehow the ball will go in their pop. So, immediately, we will go to trap with the closest player. Whoever is coming with the closest player, we come and trap. And we fully rotate the first pass. Should be denied. We rotate. We don't want to foul.
Well, it's a party atmosphere here at the Buesa Arena. News fans anticipating it will be a famous victory over the reigning champions, but there is still more work to do. It's a 2-score game. Iliman Diop has the basketball. He brings it over half. Cska Moscow with no fouls to give. Trapped in the corner, and it's going to be a turnover picked off by Darren Hilliard. He secures possession. Mike James. Will he go for a 2-for-1? He's offloaded to Hilliard. The extra pass down to the corner. Johannes Voetman for 3. It's short. So that appears to be the ball game. Will they foul? Yes, they have. It's Tornika Shengelia who is being fouled. And again, Cska Moscow unselfish. They went for the 3-point shot down in the corner, but it went through the hands of Mike James and Darren Hilliard, who are more recognized as 3-point shooters than the forward who ended up taking the shot from the corner. They deemed it was a better look off that ball rotation to get the Baskonia defense moving. So this game seemingly out of reach now as Toko Shengelia moves to 21 points in the game. Make that 22 as he nails both in money time, and he's an 8-point advantage as the 3-pointer is fired and off the mark. That foul against Johannes Voetman. So Voetman called for the foul. Come back down the other end as Iliman Diop will go to the free throw line. Good on the first as he looks to make this a 10-point margin of advantage. So the lead is 10 for the home team. Again, Baskonia still with fouls to give, so that won't be a trip to the free throw line. And that disparity in fouls allowed Baskonia to be really intense and aggressive on the defensive side of the ball. So Voetman receives the inbound pass. Hilliard fires a deep three off the dribble, misses everything. And it's been that type of night for head coach Dimitris Atoudis, but Baskonia deserve immense credit. They're not electing to dribble it out, they're looking to put more points on the board. Well, that'll do it, to the delight of the home fans here at the Cska Arena. It is the home team, Baskonia, who emerged victorious in a bruising encounter to defeat the reigning champions by 10, holding them to just 11 fourth quarter points and holding them scoreless for the final 4 minutes and 22 seconds. Final score from a jubilant Cska Arena. Kiril Bet Baskonia Vitoria Gasteiz 80, Cska Moscow 70.